YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Stevo, back with another video. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching, man. Man. So look, I made a previous video, right? I was stating men in the early 20s, early mid 20s, right? Shouldn't even really date, shouldn't even have a girlfriend, right? I touched on that kind of quickly, like that wasn't the main topic, but apparently people would disagree with that, right? Only one person said something, but I feel like it might have been a few other people who might not agree with that, right? And that's fine. I don't expect everybody to agree with everything I say, right? I like a good little debate. I mean, I think it's healthy to have people with different perspective on things, right? And I see what a person's saying, but it seemed like that their point was out of like mostly fear, right? You know, of just not enough good women being left, and that's completely false, right? There's a billion women out here, right? They said, oh, if every man was dating every woman, there'd be enough women. There's not gonna be enough women left. And I'm like, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard somebody ever respond back with. All right, bro. Like if you watching this, all right, bro. But listen, here's the thing. Here's the point I was getting at, right? Because I'm about to dive a little deeper into that. Why I say that? Because 20 to 25, right? Well, I would say even 18. Let's go a little bit further. Let's go a little bit younger. 18 to 25 could be some crucial years that could have you, if you really focus and locked in on them years, and then even maybe a little bit longer, so on. By the time you 30, you could be set for real. You could be set out here if you really locked in and focused in them crucial years. You might set yourself up to be good. I mean, look at these people that been blowing up, right? And I know there's outliers, right? And there's some people, they just might have gotten lucky, or they just might have just been that 1% out of the population that it had to happen to them. People like um y'all know the famous YouTubers, right? Famous YouTubers blew up. They on BET now, they in commercials, they on and all they did was turn a camera and just entertain people. That's it. On Twitch, YouTube, y'all know famous YouTuber names, right? I ain't gotta say them. But guess what? They started young, didn't get a relationship until after they got successful, and then some BS happened after they, of course, right? So that's what I'm saying. So 20 to 25, right? If you jump into a relationship, you could find the right one. I'm not gonna say like you just not finding your wife out here. You might find that it might be the first girl you find, right? You might have a high school sweetheart. Y'all might be high school sweethearts. Went to college together, graduated college together, and y'all lived so and so happy ever, right? 60, 70 years, y'all married and y'all died together, right? That's a happy, right, fairy tale. Just people just I ain't gonna say fairy tale. That's just that's a possible little possibility, right? Outlier that you could just find the one off the rip and just float away into the rainbows, right? But for most of us out here, I'm talking generally speaking in the population, the first girl you find is not typically gonna be the one you marry. Let's be honest, your first girlfriend is not gonna be the one you marry, you know. So being in a relationship is very distracting to a man that needs to figure out who he is, right? Figure out what he want to do with his life. Figure out his future, right? Where he even want to live at, where you want to live at, what you want to do, want to get himself good, get himself established, right? Get himself a car, get himself a crib, get himself settled. Cause I mean, 9 times out of 10, that's what most of them gonna ask for or want is a dude that's settled in their 20s. And then it's like the thing is, right, if you jump into a relationship early on, right, I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying, most likely it's a risk if you do, right? Y'all break up. Say you 20, right? You jump into a relationship, you 20. You break up with her. You've been with her for 5 years. You break up by the time you 25, right? And that whole time, I mean, your attention's split multiple different ways, right? You probably worked, you probably still work, you probably got still friends, and you got her, and you got other things, you got life happening to you. It's way too much distractions. Because I mean, when in a relationship, you have to give your girl attention. You have to take her out on dates. You have to do stuff, right? And you might fall in love, and then y'all just break. Y'all just break up like that, right? It's a possibility. And then once y'all break up, now you're spending months recovering from that heartbreak, right? Because if you're with somebody that long, no way you're gonna just be over it and heal instantly. It takes time to heal. So now you're out here damaged and scarred. And then if then you give it the next girl, she asks how long you been in a relationship, and you tell her 5 years, and she asks when y'all broke up, and you say 2 months ago. She ain't gonna trust you. She ain't gonna trust that. And I mean, who cares, right? Who cares? But at the same time, she's right. Like, you gotta give yourself time now to recover. And these few months could be months that you could have just spent building still. Just wasteful months of you just being unfocused and trying to heal and trying to recover from this heartbreak and still missing her, still want to reach out and text her. And she done moved on with her life. And now you still in these crucial, strong years that you got, wishing you never even jumped in that relationship and wish you never even wasted your time with her. So why do it in the first place? And I'm not saying even y'all should, I'm not telling dudes to even date. If you feel like, if you don't want to run your body count up and deal with multiple women, you don't have to be honest. Don't date at all. But as men, we have desires. Sometimes you get too focused. Sometimes you'll get too distracted if you're not having the women are part of a man's life. Like, I think women should be included, right? Family aside, like, women outside of family should be a part of the dude's life, right? In some kind of way still. But I mean, they don't really have to be initially until you get yourself right. You know, I was saying if dudes want to date, go ahead and do that. But a serious commitment could be detrimental if it goes bad in your 20s. If you get with the wrong chick, you could get with the right chick and she helped build you and blah. But 9 times out of 10, that's hard to find. That's rare to find. I ain't saying it's impossible to find, but it's hard to find, right? So in your early 20s, it's way better to just lock in, become the man you want to be first. Do what you want to do first, right? Build your skills in all kinds of areas, your social area, talking to people, right? Friends, women, whoever. You can do that. And just because you talking and dating women don't mean you're going to sleep around with every single one of them. We ain't got it like that. We're not women. We don't have it like that where we can just sleep around with every woman. Unless you pay. You shouldn't be doing that though either. I'm not preaching that either, right? But I mean, if you want to just stay away from dating, honestly, you probably should. That probably was a good point, right? Just stay away from dating completely if that's the case. If you don't run that high body count up, right? You don't want to be risking out here. You don't want to be risking getting somebody pregnant or catching something. Just don't date at all. 18 to 25, just lock in, get your skills right, get your peace of mind, develop into that man you want to be. Figure out who you want to be and develop into him. Get some mentors if you need to, right? and do what you got to do. Build up your discipline, build up your consistency, and get it done. It don't take much, you know. If we like a lot of relationships, right? If we in and out of relationships, it messes up things, right? It just messes up time. All them days you spent talking to her on the phone or going out on dates or I mean, you got experience, you developed, but then if that breaks, if y'all break up, it's a waste, right? And I'm not saying it's bad to take that. Well, yeah, it's a waste. It's a waste. It's a waste, especially when you're underdeveloped. You're not developed until you are yet. And now you even worse, you even more damaged, and you even lost yourself even more because you feel like this girl was your part of your life and she just broke off on you like nothing. Because I'm gonna tell you, when they're done, they're done. When a woman is done with you, she's done with you. Any woman can tell you that. When she's done with you, she's done with you. Because they leave mentally before they leave physically, right? And I'm not no dating coach. I'm not no dating coach out here. Honestly, I don't care what you do. I'm not no dating coach. Um, I'm not no advisor, right? I'm just a guy that been through some stuff and know, right? But I just share my opinions on things, right? And my little 2 cents on things, man. And I just feel like I'm just gonna say what I feel real. You know, you can go ahead and jump into a relationship if you want to, but I'm telling you, man, you will probably be way more in them years, especially 18 and up, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, in them years. If you really locked in for them 4 years and got your physique right, got your mental right, got your money right, figure out what purpose you have, what road you on, you could probably be a millionaire by 30, 40, you know, just by staying consistent and not having somebody that's really not yoked to you, that's really not for you, distract you, right? And again, unless you find the right one, there is a possibility you could meet a woman and find the right one and jump into a relationship. I'm not saying that's not possible. It's just hard. And then here's the thing though. How would you know she's the right one and you have no experience with them? Well, how would you know what the right one looks like and you got no experience with them? Tell me that. Tell me that in the comments, right? Tell me that. 'Cause y'all love arguing with stuff. Tell me that. Yeah, man. So, all right, man. You know, it's just better to just focus on yourself early before you get into that heartbreak, before you get into that damage, before you change, before something happens and it changes who you are. I'm just saying, I feel like dudes could be way more successful if they just focus, right? Because I'll tell you one thing. After the breakup, that'll lock the dude in too. Go through a heartbreak. Go through a heartbreak. Go through a heartbreak. That'll lock a dude in too. A bad heartbreak, that'll turn a dude into a monster. You know. So okay, maybe you should get a relationship. Go get a relationship. Go get your heart broken. That might turn you into who you need to be. You know. Now because that's the thing. You break up. Now you out here. You've been out the game so long. You don't even know it's a different ball game. The game changes all. The game changes every every year, every 2 years, 2, 3, 5 years. It changes over time. So hey, just take that into account, man. All I'm just saying is take it into account, man. Do what y'all want to do, man. Just take it into account. I'm just throwing options out there, weighing them right on the scale. So, all right, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Y'all have a good one, man.